Welcome to the Rough Draft Podcast. The York Review, of which this is the official podcast, is a student-run literary publication that compiles work from students, is edited and published by students, and then a couple clowns make a podcast about it. You can follow us on Twitter at York Review, and you can stay tuned right here for new episodes of the Rough Draft Podcast every 2 weeks. I'm your host Olivia, the world's greatest namer of things, and today we're talking about the coming-of-age story, and how the genre has shifted over time. A coming-of-age story is, as the name suggests, a story that centers on a protagonist's growing up, and the transition between childhood and adulthood. A lot of these stories focus on kids, or groups of kids, and they tend to deal more in monologue and narration than action and physical conflict, although such elements aren't exactly unfamiliar to the genre. And one of the most popular coming-of-age stories in the current pop culture diet is Stranger Things, which I have never watched. I asked my friend Des to summarize Season 1 for me, but she summarized Season 3 instead, so we're going to Wikipedia for this episode. Now, Stranger Things deals with a lot of science fiction and horror elements, and that sort of genre blend is a throwback to older media, with things like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Mars Attacks, to name a few notorious examples. The main difference between those films and Stranger Things, besides the available technology, culture at the time, budget, production quality, acting quality, the fact that one is a Netflix original show and the others are movies, and the general premise, is the fact that one is mostly about a group of children rather than adults. Additionally, from what I'm seeing, the plot seems to settle pretty heavily on the kids taking matters into their own hands, which is a pretty heavy fantasy for most kids in my experience. Doing things yourself is a core tenet of a child's idea of growing up, including buying things yourself, going to bed whenever you want, slaughtering the monsters under your bed with a holy sword, or riding shotgun in cars. And that sort of responsibility being taken on takes a heavily important role in most coming-of-age stories. For example, Stand By Me is an all-time classic coming-of-age film, featuring a group of 4 boys who take it upon themselves to report the location of a missing child's body when the more mature figures in their life fail to. Along the way, they open up to one another, become closer friends, and even stand up to their bullies. So, how did the genre go from Stand By Me to Stranger Things? Why did we shift from a mundane, non-fantastical story about a bunch of kids looking for a body in the woods to a sci-fi thriller about fighting beings from another dimension as the defining coming-of-age story of its time? Well, when Stranger Things came out, Stand By Me already existed. It's a fairly common idea that every story is just another story tweaked and twisted, and that there is no new idea. And that drive to create something that is actually new and unique is likely the reason behind Stranger Things' particular blend of genres and storytelling. It's Stand By Me with sci-fi twisting and turning. The progression of the genre is born from the fact that this generation's defining coming-of-age story can't be Stand By Me because Stand By Me already exists. If we didn't have Stand By Me, we would just make Stand By Me. In 20 or 30 years, we'll have a new defining coming-of-age story that blends something new into the mix, or blends the extant genres or combinations in its own personal way. As people who understand wine way too much to actually enjoy it say, it's all about the process. Rounding out this episode, I'd like to give warm birthday wishes to Billy the Kid, give a shout out to our editor Aaron and our interview manager Cam, who might actually have something to do in future episodes. I've been your host Olivia, Canetis per scripturum, and always remember to drink a healthy dose of your respect women juice. Take care, right on.